Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be recapping week 8. Yeah, that's where we are. Week 8, doing our predictions for week 9. What is the question we're going to be answering is what is our takeaways from week 8?
Yeah, which is the question that we answer every week.
True.
Oh, by the way, welcome to Two Down Territory, everyone.
Right. Right. Welcome to Two Down Territory.
Um,
Cue the intro music.
2 inches short, maybe less. Story of my life. It's been a while since he's seen a hole that big.
If you say he's a bust and you end up right, it's not because you're some genius. It's because you got lucky.
How I feel, man? Tell me how I feel, El Freaky.
We pray that these Berg 30s would nourish us and allow us to throw the ball.
They got to go get this bread.
If you suck, you might as well suck with purpose. And so... All right. Intro music has been cued. Thoughts? Overarching thoughts on week 8?
well, I think that the intro music still going?
No, I haven't actually cued it. That's gonna be like a post-production thing. I just want there to be
I thought you
break.
like were gonna play intro music right now. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
We're not that we're not there yet.
Takeaways. We're not there yet. One day. No, some immediate thoughts before, the format that we always do is we make sure to really dive into the whatever primetime games there were from the week slate and then talk about some other supplemental games and interesting items that popped out. But the biggest takeaway for me is that I think I'm starting to really understand what some of these teams are. And it wasn't until this week that this was kind of a demarcation week where it's like, now I have a cutoff. I've seen enough football to be played. And my brain over the last couple days has been really kind of cooking up more than it was able to in the past as to like projecting out what these team seasons are going to look like when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I think that there's 31 teams in which that's the case, and the single team where it's like, what is the Falcons? And I'm sure we'll talk about that, but that they are the most confusing
for completely
organization.
Opposite reasons, as some of you who are watching this on YouTube will have noticed by the thumbnail, a team that I'm fascinated in because I'm the graphic designer of the thumbnails. The team that's the inverse of that for me is the Packers. I have no clue what to make of them, but love wins.
Weird. We'll talk. It does. Anyway, let's just hop right into the primetime games. So Monday Night Football, Chargers versus Vikings. Kind of felt like the whole time the Chargers just had command of the game.
I think it felt like that because that was the case.
Yeah, like they kind of just took care of business. The biggest note that I had is Joe Alt for MVP. Let's start pushing that narrative because the impact that Joe Alt has on Justin Herbert, not even from like a statistical standpoint, but just like the comfort level that it looks like he has in the pocket when you have Joe Alt, and when you take him away, it's an entirely different dynamic. Like he needs his homie to be protecting him.
I believe they're now aren't they 4-1 when Joe Alt plays and like 1-2 when
Something
he doesn't?
Like that.
Yeah, I believe that's the case. But no, in all seriousness, Joe Alt is a legitimate game changer for this team.
Literally.
And there are other offensive linemen like that in the league, but we've kind of been able to see it play out in front of our eyes, which is always great for us offensive lineman lovers. For the Chargers, this was go ahead.
I was just going to say, one thing that's unique about the Chargers is that when healthy, I think off the top of my mind, it is the Chargers have the best like O-line quarterback duo when the Chargers O-line is completely healthy. Because like you have other O-lines that are like really, really good, including the Colts, the Broncos, the Eagles, the Lions even. But like in terms of elite offensive line play when they're healthy and elite quarterback play, like those two, like the Chargers probably have the best amalgamation of those two pieces. And so
At the
like when you
very
have them
least,
both
I
healthy,
don't know if I would call it the best, but I've seen the discrepancy between the two, which makes it jump out way more. Like
for
we've
sure.
seen what it looks like without it, and to be honest, it hasn't been pretty. And this was kind of a return to the form of what I expected the Chargers to look like this season.
Yeah.
It was a very balanced offensive attack, 220 passing yards to like 210 rushing yards. I mean, if you play a game on offense like that, you're going to be winning most of the time, barring turnovers, essentially.
Mhm.
And so, really, they kind of just confirmed that they were what I thought they would be going into the season, at least in the regular season. If Joe Alt and Justin Herbert remained healthy and none of the other position rooms get completely decimated by injury, this is a team that will be competing for the AFC West by the end of the season.
Mhm.
The next step is simply, do they take the postseason leap? And
Mhm.
and I'll be getting into that a little bit for the video that's coming out later this week in terms of whether or not I think they can and how that relates to Justin Herbert. But to just keep it brief, that is where I don't know. But for the regular season, I'm quite sure at this point that the Chargers are going to be on the doorstep of 11 wins. And if they can go 11-6, there's a decent chance, depending on the tiebreakers, that the AFC West is theirs.
Yeah. No, absolutely. For me, I think pretty much everything you said is what I wrote down. The biggest thing that I highlighted is that um basically that everything that the Chargers did offensively was exploited the weakness of what a Flores defense can be and what it has been this season. So first off, they ran the ball really well. It's weird because generally the Vikings have a really good run defense simply because of the numbers game. Like run defense is unique in this in a way where even if you like from a scheme perspective, where it's like even if you don't have the guys, a lot of times you can make up for that by just like putting an extra guy in the box. Cause like
Yeah,
the
if you
run
have a
game
box
simply,
stack,
yeah, like the run game simply is it's all about numbers and angles. And so like offensive coordinators who excel in that tremendously include Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen, it seems like uses angles more to his advantage, where Ben Johnson uses numbers more to his advantage. The point that I'm making though is that because of how much they stack the box, the Vikings generally have a decent run game and run defense. They just like haven't this year. Like the discipline is just not there. They also made moves in the offseason, replacing some of their interior defensive linemen like Harrison Phillips with guys like Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, who are great, but specifically in the pass rush as opposed to run defense. And so that's really showing up. The other thing too is that the Vikings defense, their scheme can cover up a lot of holes, but when you have a quarterback who can play well against pressure, it's not going to cover up those holes. Because realistically, like I know Isaiah Rodgers had that incredible game against the Bengals, right? Like where
yes.
that alone is a stout line that, can do a lot when it comes to like awards. But the truth is that their secondary pieces, right? Like Jeff Okudah, Isaiah Rodgers, they are not the best, truthfully. And so when you are able to, because like the idea is we're going to send a lot of pressure and then hope that the pressure gets there before, things open up in the secondary with this man on man coverage that we're running. Herbert versus the blitz was 13 for 15, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to
So,
beat that if
and
you're
to be fair,
blitzing.
there
If
was
you're
that
if
dropped.
you
I was just going to say there was that drop pick 6 early in the game. It really didn't matter, but that's the stat line that's just going to completely eliminate the scheme that Brian Flores brings up.
That's a stat line that one of my favorite, he's a college football commentator, but Josh Pate calls a padlock stat. If you showed me that stat before the game and says of the 15 pass attempts that are going to be happening when Justin Herbert is blitzed, he's going to complete 13 of them. The Chargers are probably winning that game. And another a rare compliment that I'm about to pay to Justin Herbert. He's one of those quarterbacks, particularly of the likes of a Josh Allen and a Drake May and other quarterbacks of that frame, just of body, because and it's a mental thing too. Justin Herbert is willing to take the hit. And when
Yeah.
you are willing to take the hit as a quarterback, that gives you an extra half second to make the pass on a blitz. And an extra half second to make the pass on a blitz matters a lot. Like the willingness to say, "Oh, I know I'm going to take a shot here." And a guy like Justin Herbert, his mentality is, "Okay, that's fine." And that when you're playing a numbers game, the more breaks are going to go your way when you're facing pressure, and that's going
Yeah.
to open up more opportunities when you're looking downfield or for dump offs or something like that. So, rare Justin Herbert compliment from me, but this was a great game from the Chargers, and they looked like what I thought that they would look like this season. For the
Yeah.
Vikings, though, this was the game where the wheels finally fell off of machine that Kevin O'Connell was keeping together by sheer willpower. Uh, whatever we had disagreements on the Vikings this season, the Vikings are looking closer to what I thought, but I do need to give you your flowers because as poorly as this season has gone so far for the Vikings, some not their fault, just in terms of injury luck, Kevin O'Connell's a fantastic coach.
Mhm.
That being
For sure.
said, this upcoming schedule is not favorable. I'm essentially just ready to
Yeah,
write the Vikings
me
off
too.
for the playoffs. Of the 10 games that they have remaining, only 3 are against sub 500 teams, and 2 of those sub 500 teams are the Ravens and the Commanders.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing too is just like, I don't believe they played the Packers or the Lions. So
No, they
like
have they
that's
have 2
4 games
I
right
think
there.
they have played the Packers, but they have 2 games coming up against
Oh,
Detroit.
either way. Either way. Yeah, the biggest thing I have to highlight for the Vikings is just like their O-line. Everything that I said about the Vikings was predicated on me believing in the moves that they made in the offseason. And I still believe in those moves. The problem is that they're not healthy. Like, Darisaw hasn't been in consistently um
Yeah.
at all. Like, yeah, they're like all these guys that they picked up, they haven't been healthy. Like, what are you gonna do?
No, I like I said, I'm not taking a victory lap on that take. This season is shaping up to be one of those kind of shake your head. What can you do seasons, and
Yeah.
it'll be fine. It doesn't immediately. I still have my questions about McCarthy, but
Rightfully so.
but nothing from this season should change the 2-year outlook of the Vikings. Like the plan is still technically on track. This was just a little hiccup.
Although it's just I feel like there's going to be revisionist history about what the Vikings did this offseason because of how well Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold are playing right now, where it's like
Yeah.
they had both of those guys in the locker room, but I still think given the data at
And it
hand,
may not
wasn't a terrible
entirely be
choice.
revisionist, but fair enough.
I think given the data at hand, it wasn't a terrible call, but we'll see.
That's fair.
Ready to move
we
on?
can move to the Sunday night football game, the game that both in terms of the box score and the way the game played out was probably the closest primetime game.
Yeah.
Packers winning against Pittsburgh 35-25, a game in which the Steelers led up until the first play of the fourth quarter and then let up 21 unanswered points.
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing that I noted for this game was just Jordan Love is a dog. Tucker Kraft is a dog.
Oh
Like
my
those
goodness,
are
what a
dude,
on
Tucker Kraft looks
national
like
tight end week.
dude, Tucker Kraft looks like the best tight end ever. Like in that one game, like He had the ability to get open and maneuver the defense like Travis Kelce. He had the ability to throw people around like Rob Gronkowski. Like he had the hands of Tony Gonzalez. Like he just like had all of the, like in that one game on
And the
National Tight
personality
Ends
of
Day.
Shannon Sharp.
It was
he
like he had
fired up.
the Infinity Gauntlet, right? Like right, all like Travis Kelce, Tony Gonzalez, Rob Gronkowski, all in that one game. They were all moving through him on national television in prime time, and he just had himself a day.
For the Packers overall, I think the biggest takeaway is more so of a question. Was that the moment? Was that fourth quarter the moment where the Packers throw themselves into the legitimate Super Bowl contender mix? Like last week, we made a video about who are our top 5 contenders, and I had multiple from each conference, but I had 3 in the NFC, and I was shaky on Philadelphia. A couple more weeks of the Packers building on this, and I would be ready to swap them with Philadelphia, which means I would be having 2 contenders from the NFC North because I had Detroit in there. There's little doubt that they're going to be neck and neck for Detroit with this division, assuming, again, general health. But is this team... It's kind of an enigma. Like, is Jordan Love taking a step? Maybe. Is that defense championship level? Maybe. Is Matt LaFleur a championship level head coach? Maybe. Is that wide receiver core going to be good enough for a playoff run? Maybe. Like, this team is young, but at this point, they're not that young. Like, Matt LaFleur has quite a few years under his belt. Jordan Love should be entering into what is his prime, like, or really should be there. And the wide receiver core has a couple of years under their belt. I don't know. That's why I said to start this podcast, they're probably, for me, the biggest enigma of any hypothetically contender adjacent team.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this last week with the Packers, just because, again, like it's one of those teams where when they like their touchdown drives look unstoppable. Like when they score, it's like there's nothing anyone could have done in that moment of time. But then they'll go through these stretches during the game. And, this was a situation where it was at the beginning of the game, really, where they were going through the stretch. And then obviously they turned it on in the fourth quarter and the second half. But it's just like they go through these stretches of they're not doing anything. And there isn't one specific thing that's like holding them back. It's just like individual moments within their offense within a game. It just stalls. But, more often than not, it comes alive just at the right moment and it looks incredible. And so, like the question is like,
if they pick up 2 or more first downs on a drive, I'm like, oh, they're scoring a touchdown this drive.
Right. It's one of those, it almost makes me think like I think the more specific question to ask is, can they harness that energy in the playoffs? Like because I feel like when you have teams that kind of flip flop like that, you can either get situations where they make this run in the playoffs and everything works out, or you get the situation where it's like it runs out, like they're not able to do that at the worst moment possible. And so that's going to be really interesting to see, because I feel like theoretically, I think they have the pieces to win a Super Bowl. Like, I truly believe that. Like, if their offense is humming and in rhythm, like, their defense has the pieces, right? Like, one thing we have to remember, too, is that, Micah Parsons looked dominant in this game. Like, absolutely. He had that sack on Aaron Rodgers.
What do we say are the 3 pieces? Pass rusher, quarterback, head coach. I know I've got the pass rusher. I think I've got the head coach. And I guess it does kind of come down to the quarterback at that point.
Well, which this is the exact conversation we had before the season even started when we were talking about the Parsons trade.
It is, yeah.
Where it's like we have 2.5. Like Jordan Love shows signs of great quarterback play, but every once in a while, he goes through stretches within games where it's like he's extremely high. I mean, he completed 20 straight passes in this game. And then stretches where it's like it's inconsistent. He's taking the sack where he shouldn't have. He made some bad decisions. He's throwing inaccurate passes, right? Like there are just those stretches where it's like, so the question is just like, when are those stretches going to come out and how long are those stretches going to last? Because, you know, you get into the playoffs against teams like the Lions and teams like the Eagles. And it's like, you know, if they're on, like, you can't afford to do that.
Yes.
But yeah, Micah Parsons was an absolute dog. Like, he's incredible. His pressure, his rush win success rate is ridiculous this year. Like, he's pressuring the quarterback at an unreasonable clip. Like, he's playing awesome.
No, after a slightly slowish start, which is really just due to the fact of him sitting out up until like to the beginning of this season,
Yeah.
he's fully solidified him. Like some people after the first few weeks, as per usual with NFL hot takes, are like putting him outside of the top 3 defensive pass rushers in the league. I'm like, no, he's right there. He's right there. Myles Garrett, give him the number 1, but he's right there with TJ Watt for number 2. He just is.
Oh yeah. I mean, at this point, I when we ranked our edge rushers, I ranked TJ Watt above Micah Parsons. I'm almost at the point where it's like, I think Micah Parsons might be better.
Yeah. And speaking of TJ Watt, the guy on the other side of the field, the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, the real story of this game was not the fourth quarter. It was unfinished drives in the first half. If Pittsburgh scores a touchdown on just one of those 3 first down drives that stalled and turned into field goals, I mean, it seemed like Pittsburgh would cross the halfway mark of the gridiron and forget how to play the game of football.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of crazy. If they score a touchdown on one of those drives in the first half, I'm fairly certain that they win this game. Like, I don't think that the momentum of the game, it would have shifted too far to Pittsburgh's way. Like, Green Bay could have kept it close with a fourth quarter run like this. But this is Pittsburgh.
I mean,
this is the Pittsburgh we know.
I feel like Pittsburgh, the way that people talked about them before the Bengals game set them up for failure. Like I like somehow people fell into the trap again of look at how hot they started. They're 4-2 or they're 4-1.
People always do with Pittsburgh.
But it's just like, how could you let this happen again? Like, use the context of, once again, they have an easier schedule at the beginning of the year. And as the year progresses, they get a harder schedule and they fall to good teams.
And we need to have a difficult discussion right now.
Exactly. I wrote that down. We do.
Pittsburgh
is
Pittsburgh looks exactly like how I thought they would look, but completely the inverse. I thought that it would be, per usual, a fine defense and the offense would slow it down. It's been the opposite. Aaron Rodgers has been good this year. Not approaching great, but good enough. Pittsburgh has the highest paid defense in the league, and it's really not close. Mike Tomlin, the predicate of having a defensive-minded coach is that you should be able to invest in the offense. And you're giving Mike Tomlin, a defensive head coach, the highest paid defense in the league, and it's a bottom 5 defense in points per game. I'm almost positive. I don't know what the exact points per game are. That is unacceptable. That is a point where Mike Tomlin can scrape by on he's a defensive side of the head coach. The defense does its job, and he's, you can blame him for making poor hiring decisions for offensive coordinators and not knowing the offensive side of the ball as much. That doesn't exist this season. It just doesn't.
Well, and the biggest difference too is like, because I think the bigger excuse was like, look who's throwing the ball for Pittsburgh. Like, look at the quarterback that they've had since Big Ben.
Which Mike Tomlin has immense input on that. He's the ultimate decider on that.
Well, Yeah, probably. But like, I don't know. I think what I'm realizing with Mike Tomlin is that he is such a like he is a hard-nosed, old school head coach, and he makes certain decisions that I'm now because I've always been a defender of Mike Tomlin, and I think that when you have a coach whose floor is 9 wins, like that should be good enough to consistently have a job. But what I'm think
But
like
when his ceiling
this
is
year,
10,
right, like this year, what I'm realizing is maybe there is a formula to how he does things that just consistently puts out 9 wins, and there's not much you can do to raise the ceiling. The thing that comes to mind is, and this is just like a thought, the Steelers under Mike Tomlin have one of the most intense training camps of any team within the NFL. Um, and so it makes me think like, what if the reason why they always go to a go off, like start hot is because they're just like a little bit more game ready than their opponents. But once the rest of the league catches up,
it's not
then the
impossible. No.
true, it's just like I am starting to doubt Mike Tomlin. And I definitely think I mean, the truth is that at the end of the day, if they miss the playoffs because the Ravens win the division, like that is clearly enough to say like, yes, there is reason to fire Mike Tomlin as the head coach of the Steelers. Um I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely interesting. I haven't made up my mind yet of what I think the right thing is to do, but there are
The
definitely
problem
things to
is that
take
we
note of.
have and maybe not you, and I give you respect for this. I've definitely fallen into this trap far more. But welcome to the Mike Tomlin conversation, Adam, because we do this every season, and then as soon as the season ends and we get a month and we get into like late March, early April, we're like, man, but I mean, he is just a good head coach, though. Like this is welcome to the fun house, Adam. This is the Hall of Mirrors. It's purgatory.
Yeah, no, that's what it feels like. And the thing is, and I also think that there's a certain level of like Mike Tomlin runs a defense a certain way, and it hasn't changed as NFL offenses have progressed. I think part of the reasoning for the moves that they made to now have the highest paid defense in the league, is the idea of similar to the Vikings. Our pass rush we can send blitz packages and we can rush the quarterback and then play man on the back end, and the man is just not working. Like that's where I think from an X's and O's standpoint, we're seeing a problem with Detroit. I'm tripping with Pittsburgh and their defense, where it's like they're sending all this pressure, and quarterbacks who get the ball out quickly can just kind of feast. Like we saw that with Joe Flacco, obviously. And like the coverage on the back end is just not holding strong. There was that one deep play to Christian, I think it was Christian Watson near the end of the game, where I don't even know who it was, but the defender was backing up and jumped for it in the air to get it. And it was funny because like he had the time to back up and make a play on the ball, but he just misread it. So like he jumped like 2 yards too early. And so like there's a picture of him like reaching up, like trying to get it. And it's like 5 feet over his hand. And it's like, dude, if you would have just backed up like 3 yards, like you could have made the play, but you jumped. You like backed up, stopped, and then jumped early, and the ball just landed right in Christian Watson. It was ridiculous. It was like, is this really the highest paid defense? Like,
To
anyway.
put a button on that, though, you also shouldn't have to be using some of the highest blitz rates in the league if you have a guy like TJ Watt, or at least who we think TJ Watt should be. But this is the Steelers, and maybe the Packers had a moment. It all clicked for them. We'll see if they can duplicate that. But we can move on to the final primetime game, Monday Night Football, and that was the Chiefs winning 28 against Washington's 7 points. Adam, I want to hear your thoughts on the Chiefs first.
Yeah, well, what was interesting about this game is that there were no punts in the first half, and it was tied 7-7, which was just kind of like a weird thing that happened. Obviously
Yep.
because of also the very weird turnovers that happened.
Well, 3
But
picks and 2 turnovers on downs. Yeah.
yeah, and so I don't know. I just feel like this game kind of played out at least in the second half, pretty much like I expected. Like the Chiefs' offense was rolling, and when we talked about the Commanders as potential fallers this year, like a big highlight of that was the Commanders secondary. And
Mhm.
now the Chiefs have the weapons to exploit that. The biggest thing I noted though was, Patrick Mahomes, obviously his mobility is a weapon and it has been in the past. We've talked about on this show how his awareness feels different. Like it feels like he's using it in a more tactful way. And obviously progression like that is slow, but I feel like his ability in this game particularly to use the question of his mobility to confuse the secondary was really highlighted. Cause now it's like,
Mhm.
okay, he's clearly established himself as a threat outside of the pocket. And
Up until this
so,
game, he was the Chiefs' leading rusher.
right. And so now he's kind of taken that a step further where it's like, I'm going to be mobile in the quarterback or in the pocket. And as soon as I pretend like I'm going to go outside of the pocket, the entire secondary collapse, and there's like a chief wide receiver or Travis Kelce or whoever wide open down the field, and he immediately has the answer. He immediately throws it to the open guy. And so that was just
Or
a
if he
progression in
actually
Patrick
rolls
Mahomes' game that I
outside,
thought was noted. Yeah,
if he actually rolls outside, he obviously he is a threat on the ground. It's also just his arm angles are the greatest that we've ever
right,
seen of any quarterback
right.
in terms of accurately throwing a ball. I mean, he can a DB can be coming up on him as he rolls out to the right, and he can just sidearm throw a ball like horizontally 15 yards down the field, and you're like, okay, like
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do about that?
Well, and it's funny because, like, obviously, especially early in his career, like, the Super Bowl against Tampa comes to mind, where you'll have him like doing similar things where he's just like running around like crazy, jumping, blah, 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 doing insane stuff and somehow putting velocity and accuracy on a ball that just shouldn't be possible. The difference is that this feels a lot more controlled, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
well,
We're,
I think part of that is that we're having a return to, if I could describe the 3 Mahomes eras that have existed so far, because we're in the third. The first handful of seasons were a young, insane, like probably the most gifted combined athlete quarterback we've ever seen with the skills of a quarterback. And he's young and naive, and he's like,
yeah.
screw it. I'll do whatever I want. And then because he also, like, I'm glazing, whatever. He has an insane football IQ and a desire to understand the defense. He then goes through this phase, a phase which really lasted up until last season, which was the IQ tactician of like,
Yeah.
I'm completely revert. Like he became like a football stoic, and he was like, I will show no emotion. I will do nothing crazy unless I'm literally called to do it by utter necessity. Like I'm going to read the defense apart. And he actually had a quote this offseason. I think it was in The Athletic, one of the Athletics Chiefs beat writers. And Mahomes was saying something which I think that you're going to really like this, and it's going to it's going to
Oh
confirm
my
your
gosh.
thoughts about the Chiefs. Mahomes said, I had been giving defenses too much credit. He had been reading the defenses so intensely pre-snap that
Yep.
he would rule off things before the snap even happened because it was what he knew the defense was supposed to do. But in doing so,
He missed the
defenses
easy
mess
stuff.
up.
Yeah.
And so he would simply rule that stuff out because he was overthinking not in like a, oh, I'm panicked type of way, but in a, he's so football brilliant that he would just assume that the defense would make the completely optimal decision and play. And so, yeah, in terms of this game specifically, though, this is
Wait, real
one of
quick,
the
I have a
more.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, like, do you think Lou Anarumo shifted that, like, created that? Like, do you think it was after that loss in the? Because, like, I feel like the timeline at least matches up.
Yes. Well, it was a combination of the Lou Anarumo game and then
Losing Tyreek Hill?
Tyreek Hill leaving.
Yeah.
It was a combination of those two things. I mean, the
Lou.
last ball that he ever threw to Tyreek Hill was an interception in overtime of the
In
AFC
overtime.
Championship game.
Yeah.
And
Bun
from that
belt,
moment,
baby.
Mahomes, which wasn't Mahomes' fault, it tipped off of Tyreek's hands. It was Tyreek's fault. You remember that?
True.
I'm sure it's seared into your brain.
Of course. That's all I have.
But my greatest shame, I never wanted to be your friend less than in that moment. But anyways, on the specifics of this game, one of the more nichely impressive games that the Chiefs have ever played under the Mahomes era, because the Chiefs of the last 3 years would have won this game, but they would have won it 24-21 or 21-18.
Right.
Like it was going in 7 and 7.5, and I was like my dad and I were sitting on the couch and we were giving each other this look of like, we know we're going to win this game, but it's just going to be ugly. And then we come out and we do touchdown, 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 and we're like, oh, we won the game. Like it was just over. And that is something that the Chiefs have not done in a game in a long time, which is look ugly and basically tied or within one possession on either side going into half, and then come out in the second half and just take the game away in a moment. They have not done that in a long time.
The last time like early in Mahomes' career, they were very streaky within games. That's why they had so many like crazy comebacks. Like the one against the Texans in the playoffs. You're right. Like that hasn't happened. Normally it's been like recently it's been like, wow, like they're kind of like something weird is happening. Like they're kind of underperforming a little bit, but they do just enough to win the game. Like especially I felt like that all year last year. Where yeah, like this was definitely different, and it feels different too, for sure. I think this whole season.
It does. For the Commanders, though, I joked about this earlier with the Steelers. The Steelers are in like franchise purgatory. This is like a singular season purgatory, at least for the Commanders. It could go further, where the problem is that purgatory feels a lot worse when you're just coming out of paradise. Like Commanders fans are feeling it right now, and it's not feeling it in a good way. I'm looking at this schedule, and it's going to be a scrap to get 5 more wins, much less the 7 that would be likely needed to get into a playoff spot. This team faces up next a ferocious Seattle team and then a humming Lions team. Those are their next 2 games. I mean, this team they're staring down the barrel of 3-7 and some serious soul searching for what the offseason is going to look like.
Well, I think that, one of the biggest things that we talked about, and I keep referencing the video where we talked about the Commanders as fallers, just because we basically laid out what could happen that would lead them to falling, right? From the NFC Championship to a season like this. Everything is basically played out exactly how we said. The difference is, but during that, we also basically hedged our bets by saying, like, there is this world where they catch fire again, and the older pieces on their defense and even within their team kind of outperform their age, I guess you could say, a little bit throughout the entire season, and we get the situation where like they're able to do it again, even though outside of Jaden Daniels, like their roster just is not there yet. And like that was the biggest thing we said, is like yes, we understand that they made it to the NFC Championship and Jaden Daniels was incredible. I still think that he's incredible. But the truth is that they are just not built like a Super Bowl team yet. It's technically on the table because we've seen that they can, do this and have this incredible team. But basically all the things we pointed out related to, some, maybe just some even marginal regression from Jaden Daniels, just the defense and the lack of secondary pieces and all of that is kind of
Yeah.
playing out how we expected. And the one thing that you said was they can essentially win a Super Bowl before their Super Bowl window opens. It's looking like that's not going to be the case. But
No.
within that sentence, it's important to note is their Super Bowl window isn't open. Like this, and
Yes.
I'm not trying. Basically I'm saying that to like Commanders fans feel better because last year was a one-off exceptional year where Jaden Daniels as a rookie elevated this team beyond realistically what their ceiling was, and they still have time. They keep making good, like this new owner and this new regime is consistently making the right moves. And so like, I have I have little doubt that they won't be able to build a solid team around Jaden Daniels moving forward.
That is 100% true. That being said, The Athletic often does, GM and executive polls, and in a hypothetical one where, 32 team executives were asked to redraft last year's draft class. I know it's prisoner of the moment. I actually think that Drake May would get slightly more number 1 overall picks than Jaden Daniels.
Oh, that's crazy to me. But okay.
I purely because of the durability question.
Sure. I guess that's fair.
You always
That's
get
fair.
so like, oh, I guess whatever when I say something you disagree with. You always are like, oh, okay.
I don't know. I just think that doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, I don't know. I don't want to just say it.
Basically, you could run a team.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Dude, give me the Bengals right now. We'll be going to Super Bowls. Virtual. one thing I wrote down: virtual measurement is stupid.
Oh yeah, that is because I don't know if you've watched intently every single Chiefs game. They implemented this rule because of us. That was the first virtual measurement that's happened in a Chiefs game this year, and it went our way, and I was smiling so much.
What's stupid is that the virtual measurement like doesn't solve the issue that comes up, which is like that ref did a terrible job spotting the ball. Like that's the thing that we need to somehow be trying to fix is like where
okay, let's
the ref
be clear.
put the
I
ball
think that was
dumb.
correct. Fair enough.
I don't think so. I don't think so at
you
all.
could see his knee is down before he makes the extension while turning his body.
I disagree. I think that it was.
He was
very
like 2 yards short, dude.
No, he was not. They didn't even place the ball 2 yards behind.
No, but I mean, as it showed, he was 5 inches short, which I mean, that's a big number. People, 5 inches is a lot.
All right, pal.
I've won you over. I've got you there. You can't disagree with me, Adam. 5 inches is a massive number. He was short by a mile.
That just shows how off the refs were when spotting it. They were off by a mile. My point being, that's regardless of the fact. Like, you're wrong. It was a bad spot. Everyone agrees with me. But the point is that even if it was correct, like, them bringing out the chain gang to measure it is not like the problem that occurs. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what the virtual measurement is replacing. Is like now after the spot, we'll use
the actual
AI
hypothetical thing that makes it a problem because they have a chip in the ball. They know where the ball is as compared to the field. The question is, where do you start? Like, when is the guy down? That's like the virtual measurement is accurate. like it's a chip in the ball. The question is, when do you say that the guy is down, and then that's where the ball is?
No, but no, the virtual measurement is not used for the spot. That's my point.
Yes, it is.
I really don't think it is. That's
They
not
have
what
a
it
chip
looks
in the
like when I
ball.
was watching.
That's why that's why
1 second, I'm
they
Googling
no
this.
longer allow you to throw the ball into the stands as a player. They swap the ball out because they have like microchips in the balls specifically to measure it. I promise you. They implemented this rule to screw us over. Well, Adam does his little research. I'm just going to reiterate the fact that 5, maybe even 4 inches is a massive number. And I mean, the virtual measurement.
Here we go. The virtual measurement, an official spots the ball manually on the field. After this, the virtual system uses multiple cameras to determine the price measurement to the line to gain. So they spot the ball using, that's what I'm saying. Like all
Really?
the virtual measure. Yes, that's my point.
Oh, that's
like
all it
all
is?
Yeah,
I guess
isn't
I'm
that
stupid.
stupid?
Then
Well,
that's
you're
a
not stupid and
what?
gun because that's my point. Is like what you did is you basically gave the NFL the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying don't give them that benefit of the doubt. Like what's happening is the ref is like, okay, that's where the ball should be placed, puts it down, and then instead of bringing the chain gang out, they use all this technology to basically say like,
oh, I did not think that that's what the I thought they.
So then they like bring up this
Why
little
are people
animation on the
making
screen.
such a big deal about it then?
I don't know. It's so stupid. That's my point. Like, and this game is why I was
thought it was way
what?
more high tech than that. I thought they had like microchips in the ball and they were like recording it live on the play and seeing the point at which the ball was at like the furthest that the ball reached.
No,
because that's what they do in
they're
soccer.
Using the microchip.
Because that's VAR in soccer. Why can't we do that?
I don't know. That's why I wrote down it's dumb because
we're yelling at each other,
is,
but we're really yelling at
we're
Roger
agreeing
Goodell.
with each other, right? Like they place the ball based on whatever the line judge thinks is accurate, and obviously I'm sure they do a replay or whatever. They place the ball, and then instead of bringing the chain gang out to measure it to see if the ball actually is past it, they just use the technology to fix it.
So they literally just got rid of the chain gang's job.
Basically, that's all they.
Oh, that's stupid.
Point. I know. That's my point. Like, it's not like
AI taking Americans' jobs.
Exactly, dude. Automation is here. But yeah, no, it's just so dumb. It's just like, why are we doing that? Like, I assumed the whole point was like, we're going to get an accurate spot.
Yeah, I assumed that's what it was too.
But no. Nope.
Okay. Well,
I still think
screw the NFL.
It's regardless of the fact, but yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't really my point I'm trying to make is not about this game. I'm just saying, in general, this is stupid.
Yeah, I guess so. But the ref made an amazing spot.
Okay. All right, pal. It didn't make a difference. It's just like classic Chiefs. No, you know how I feel about all of that.
There was a much bigger, and in fact, let's go ahead and get into this.
Let's do it. This is
the
another
tush push.
I'm ready to yell.
It's ridiculous. It's folks, I wasn't a hater. I was ahead of the curve.
Dude, get out of here. So here's the thing. First off, I actually, because obviously we're talking about the play where it was 4th and 1 and Kayvon Thibodeau knocked the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands and recovered the fumble. But they ruled on forward progress. In my opinion, that has nothing to do with the tush push. I still think that there are problems with it that have been highlighted this season. Here's what
the problem why it's specifically related to the tush push. The benefit of the tush push is that Jalen Hurts basically gets to surf the pile. The problem is that the refs consistently treat it as if it's like a goal line play.
True.
Where as soon as he gets the first down marker, like the play's dead. But if he gets to surf the pile to get the forward momentum, then the play isn't dead. And also, you can watch the live replay with audio. It was a late whistle. It's not like, a ref screwed up and blew the whistle early. The whistle was not blown yet.
Right. So this is what I found out. I read the NFL rules because I was so confused by this. Technically, forward progress is not like the play is not dead when the whistle is blown. The play
Yes.
is dead when the line judge arbitrarily determines that forward progress has stopped.
Mhm.
So basically what happened was after the play, the refs got together and said, well, actually, he was moving forward, so like forward progress was stopped, and so even though the whistle was blown, like the play is actually dead.
It's that
That is absolutely
that's
insane.
worse. Like it makes it worse.
Like this exposed a loophole and this weird aspect of the rules that I had no idea existed, which is the
No,
idea
the line judge
that
can just determine and say like, "Oh, I know the whistle came later, but by my eye, hit it already stopped. Play's dead."
insane. Which, by the way, that alone is like a terrible spot. Like clearly there wasn't forward program. Like clearly, like the play was still alive
Because it was the line judge from the other side who can't even see
Exactly.
Jalen Hurts.
Exactly.
Because he
like,
went
clearly
because
that
it was the
wrong.
line judge. I'm almost positive the line judge that made the call was the line judge. If you're facing the way that the Eagles offense is facing, was on the right side of the field, and Jalen Hurts, the momentum and direction he took was to the left. So he was on the left side of the pile, buried under bodies, but on top of other bodies. And the line judge on the other side is like, I don't think he was moving, guys.
Yeah, it's just so dumb. It's like why? Why can't we use the whistle?
And shout
as
out Tom Brady. Shout out Tom Brady for almost he was getting legitimately mad. He was losing his mind in the booth.
He should have. I'm not gonna lie. I've come up on this podcast and cast shadows and doubts on whether or not Tom Brady truly is the best quarterback of all time. He is an incredible announcer, and he is player first, and yeah, he was pissed off at that call, rightfully so.
I still got to give love to Greg Olson. He kind of got screwed in that whole situation, but Brady has been a good broadcaster.
He's been incredible. All of that to say is like that was so stupid. Like the Eagles probably would have won regardless, but
they certainly. I mean, it was tied when it happened. It would have been a big momentum shift, but.
True.
Like I said before going into this week, the Eagles were not going to get swept by a Giants. It's less of the specifics of the game and more so the principle of, and more so just kind of confirms the fact that, like I said, I think that the tush push will be officially banned this off season. Like the owners will take a vote, but I also think that the league will make the calls some point this season to the refs and basically be like, kill it. I think that from a PR standpoint will happen, especially as sports PR is a little bit tough right now with what's going on over in our friends at the NBA. This isn't an NBA podcast. Adam and I are both huge NBA fans, though. It's a tough time.
It is crazy, dude.
How could NBA players be getting into this type of stuff? Oh, by the way, here's the NBA tip-off pregame show sponsored by DraftKings. Halftime show sponsored by FanDuel.
It's so stupid. Like the fact that they can that whole we're not even going to get into that. That is just ridiculous.
Free Terry.
Last thing I want to say. There you go. We should get shirts. The last thing I want to say about this game is just shout out to Cam Scatterbo. Really weird freak injury. Of all the ways that I would imagine a player like him to get injured, catching a ball in the middle of the field and just like a freak accident. Not what I would have expected, but it seems like based on early reports, like he should make like a pretty good recovery. So
yeah, shout out, get healthy. Another thing from this last week of football, we should have seen it coming, Adam. We should have seen it coming that the Falcons would get decimated by the Dolphins. How did we not have the foresight to see this?
What's funny is you specifically said the Dolphins are so bad that it will overcome that it will not be able to overcome the bipolarness of the Falcons. Like even if the Falcons play terribly, Well, that was simply not the case.
No,
One thing that
I'm
was
dumb and
really funny
stupid.
about this game, is that their run defense just decided to play defense. Like, the Dolphins this year
Yeah.
had the worst run defense in the league, and now all of a sudden their D-line was like, "What if instead of getting blown back 5 yards, we stood here?"
They've
they
got
just
some
decided to
serious beef against Bijan. They must have they got up for
Bijan
Bijan.
was in jail this game. It was ridiculous. Obviously,
I mean,
Tua looked
Bijan Robinson
incredible.
might have like personally done something to the families of,
Yeah,
of the
like,
Atlanta Falcons or
there
the
was a
Miami
personal
Dolphins
vendetta.
defensive linemen.
It was ridiculous. You know, this doesn't change really anything of how I feel about the Dolphins.
No,
The Falcons
it
are just
only
crazy.
keeps
They
Mike
have the talent, they just
Mike
don't have the
McDaniel's
direction.
job alive. Stupidly.
Yeah. Another game I wanted to talk about was Ravens Bears. For the Bears, one thing I'm realizing about Caleb Williams is that he can, at any individual point in a game, and specifically like really a half of a game, either run an offense like a normal NFL quarterback where it's just like, I'm just going to run the play and hit the target and it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Or he can do the crazy thing, because he had some insane throws this game. Like, he can do the crazy, like, run around, like back shoulder, insane, like just the crazy passes that he's known to do, but he can't do both.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of interesting.
It's tough. I mean, to have that type of game against what had been essentially a bottom 2 defense in the league, I don't care if they got better and got healthy over the bye week. That is a setback for Caleb in terms of my thoughts on him.
Yeah.
We do have to note with this game, and I'm not the first person to have said this, but I agree with the people who've said this, and it's a little niche. It's not very mainstream. I think the Ravens are probably not like a first-round pick. I think the Ravens are probably going to lose at least a draft pick. The NFL is going to punish the Ravens for what's happened with the Lamar Jackson injury reporting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they broke something that in the CBA is a very, like, it's not some like willy-nilly rule like, oh, dang it, whoopsie. Lamar Jackson was reported as a full participant in practice when he only took reps with the scout team. And by the CBA, if you only take reps with the scout team when you are a starter for the team, a supposed starter for the team, that's illegal. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
At minimum, they're getting fined a lot of money, if not losing draft picks, because that's not something that you accidentally mess up. That's an intentional deception on the part. And it also just adds to this weird, long multi-year history that we have where Lamar and the Ravens are on a different, like, brainwave in terms of communicating their injury. Because Harbaugh will come out every time and be like, he's going to play. But it's weird because Lamar doesn't have an agent, which means that anytime news about Lamar's health comes out, it's from the team.
Yeah.
And so it's just a weird little splot on Lamar's history with the Ravens. And I'm not even saying it's his fault, but like that was a sneaky under-discussed thing of everyone just assumed because he was a full participant all week in practice that Lamar's going to play. Like, why wouldn't you? They're coming off the bye. He's a full participant. Turns out he actually legally, by the rules, was not a full participant, and the Ravens lied and said he was.
Yeah.
It's just, it's odd. Something to note.
Truthfully, I think that the NFL is definitely going to take action simply because of how that impacts sports betting. And they understand how that market matters.
Exactly.
And so it shouldn't be the case, but yeah.
Because guess what? The line going into the week and throughout almost the entirety of the week when everyone thought that the Ravens, that Lamar Jackson would be playing, 6.5. Right before game time when it comes out that he's not playing, line drops all the way to 1.5.
Yeah. Insane.
Uh,
Insane.
it's a tough look, a real
Yeah.
tough look. It's kind of sad what's going on.
Yeah, I wanted to also talk about Broncos Cowboys
Yes.
because last week I was hesitant. I almost went out on the Broncos. I initially said I was out, and then I decided I'd stay neutral. And then they come up and just absolutely torch the Cowboys. Obviously, their defense is elite. It's one of the best defenses within the league. And so the question is just like, how is this offense going to be performing? We've talked about in the past how the biggest issue with the Broncos offense, outside of the fourth quarter, it seems, is Bo Nix is just not hitting the deep throws. In this game, Bo Nix was 7 for 13 and 150 yards and 3 touchdowns on throws 10 plus yards down the field. And that was the difference maker.
I mean, I'm a Broncos hater, so all I'm gonna say is it was against the worst defense in the league.
No, absolutely, but
it looked good. We'll see if they
Yeah.
can duplicate it against a
they've
non-Cowboys
now played
team.
5 quarters of really good offense.
Yes. No, they have. I mean, 5 straight quarters, Bo Nix has looked far better than I would have expected.
I'm still staying put on the Broncos. In my take that they are the most competitive team in the AFC West.
Yes. The last note before we get into predictions, I just kind of want to shout out CJ Stroud for having one of the best games of his career, 318 passing yards on 30 of 39 passing with 2 touchdowns and 0 sacks. It only makes me more angry with the Texans that they wouldn't assemble a roster around him to do anything with it. But it's good to know that he's still a great quarterback when things are humming.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when he isn't pressured beyond belief, he's incredible. And when he is, pressured to the point where he can't, look 3 yards down the field, he's
to the
not
point
incredible.
of lunacy.
And everything that we said about the 49ers last year about how last week about how they're on this cliff, but eventually like you can't play practice squad players as a consistent form of defense.
Yeah.
Turned out to be the case. Although I will say I'm still kind of, this didn't change anything of how I feel about the Texans because it's like, okay, they had good offense against the third string defense of both the 49ers and the Ravens. Like, this is what is so okay. So now from here on out, if a defense is missing all of their best players, the Texans offense can start humming. And then I'll pick them. But until that point, I still don't really believe in them. Last game,
it's interesting.
Real quick.
It's a bold take.
It's true. That's how it's played out in this season. Patriots over Browns. Shout out to Myles Garrett. He is the best defensive edge rusher within the NFL. 5 sacks on Drake May. It's funny. The reason I wanted to point this out was kind of just to stroke my ego because last week when I picked the Patriots, I was like, Myles Garrett, I literally said verbatim, Myles Garrett could have like 5 sacks and it won't matter. So shout out to me.
Did you actually?
I said that verbatim.
Dang, we got to post that clip.
That was my analysis. Is that Myles Garrett
awesome.
could, or was it Myles? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I said. So Drake May, he's incredible. He takes too many sacks, but he's a sophomore quarterback. That's okay.
He's a sophomore quarterback, and he has the body to be able to take it. Again, you'd rather be able to coach a guy off a cliff than coach him towards the cliff. But we can move towards Week 9, Week 8's in the books. We just finished talking about it, which means it's done. It's through. The book has been written on Week 8.
No more use for those.
Now we
games.
can write the book on Week 9, starting with Ravens at Dolphins.
I'm not picking the Dolphins, dude. Give me the Ravens.
Give me the Ravens. Lamar Jackson should hypothetically be playing.
Who knows? You really never know.
Wink, wink. You never know. Bears.
The Dolphins.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, wait, real quick. I was just going to say, I really want the Dolphins to win because I think that'd be funny for, all of the hatred that you've spewed towards Mike McDaniel. And then also the Ravens losing another game. That would bring just so much joy to me. But the Ravens are probably going to win.
Hilarious. The Ravens are going to win by 30. Bears at Bengals.
I don't know, man. Where are you going?
You had such disgust. We're going the Bears.
Yeah, I Oh man, I'm like in my head, I'm like, there's no way our defense can be the worst defense ever 2 times. Right? Like, there's no way that we can suck the worst of anyone ever 2 weeks in a row.
One
But
would think.
I think it's one of those things where it's like the Jets beating the Bengals basically in like took away the best shot that the Bengals had to making the playoffs. Now it is a long shot, but still alive. When the Bengals, because I think they are, lose to the Bears, and if I'm shocked, I'll be the first to admit it that I'm wrong. When the Bengals lose to the Bears, that's probably going to be the final dagger in the coffin, and it's time to get Mr. Taylor out of the building. But we can move on.
Get him out of here.
You're
Vikings
saying.
at Lions.
Oh man, this is tough. Not
But,
really.
but
I'm going
McCarthy
Lions.
will be starting because Carson Wentz is out for the season. They literally ground him to a pulp, and then we're like, "You're done."
Well, what was funny about that game is that Carson, like, it seems like O'Connell wanted to take him out, and Carson Wentz was like, "Nah, like, put me in, coach," but then like didn't do anything. He was like, "Put me in so I can continue to not play well." But yeah,
I mean,
shout out to
that's
Carson Wentz.
Wentz for you.
That's tough. Give me the Lions.
Give me the Lions. Packers at Panthers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Packers. There's not a lot of exciting games this week, to be honest.
Sneaky letdown spot, but the Packers
True.
win.
Yeah, I almost picked them as my upset alert. The spread is crazy. It's like 12 points, so.
Yeah, I think I saw like 11, yeah. Chargers at Titans.
Give me the Chargers.
not a lot of
Let me
action
give you
this
some
week,
analysis.
folks. We might actually be writing the book on week 9.
Yeah.
Falcons at Patriots.
Give me the Patriots.
Yeah. Also another one of those ones where the Falcons could sneakily look good, but I don't think
true.
there's a chance because Drake May's on his current all-time legendary streak of consecutive games with it's a certain amount of passing yards plus 100+ passer rating. He's at 7 right now, tying 2018 Patrick Mahomes, and there's other legends ahead of that. This could be a week where that streak snaps, but the Patriots win.
Yeah, I'm with you.
49ers at Giants.
Yeah, this one was actually pretty tough for me. I ended up making this my upset alert. I'm picking the Giants to beat the 49ers.
Really? What is the spread on that game?
The 49ers are favored by 2.5.
So it's a 2.5. Okay.
I don't know. I like obviously, losing Scadaboo hurts. I don't know. I just kind of believe in the concept of like, guys rallying around a player.
That's what I was going to say.
Obviously, the 49ers also are missing a lot of guys. So
49ers are missing a lot of guys. I went 49ers here. This was a coin flip for me. I could see the Scadaboo effect giving a sort of like mental boost for the first drive. That's not really something that can sustain a whole game. And so the 49ers, for all of the 49ers injuries, it hasn't been to the offensive line. So I don't think that they're going to be under immense pressure. The 49ers offensive line has actually been pretty good. It's been everything else. And so I think this is a game that the 49ers take, but I have no confidence in
Brock Purdy will be back, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yes. Some narratives could begin that you and I are going to hate.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of why I'm already hating them, and so I was like, at least
you're kind of creating the self-fulfilling prophecy. You're
Yeah.
manifesting something that you know you're going to hate.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. The next game, Colts at Steelers.
Oh my gosh, give me the Colts. I hope they wipe the floor with them.
That's
Is this
interesting.
your upset alert?
I have the Steelers winning this game outright.
Okay. What's the spread?
4.
Okay. So not as big as I thought.
I'm calling this, it's a home game for the Steelers. They've lost 2, and I'm treating this as the weird halfway mark of the season where the Steelers win this game and everybody on TV just is like, Mike Tomlin. You get like, how can you get rid of that? Even though 48 hours ago they were saying Mike Tomlin should be fired, they're going to be like, Mike Tomlin, one of the best head coaches in the league. I mean, he might be the best head coach in the league. I can just see that. But so essentially, the same thing that you did last game, manifesting a narrative that you're going to hate, is what I'm doing with this game. It just has that weird vibe where the Colts are going to lose games the rest of the season, and they're going to lose to teams that are worse than them hypothetically based on record. Like, that happens in the NFL. This is you're giving me that look. The Colts are not going 16-1. This is one of those weird games where the Steelers beat the Colts and you're like, oh, that's interesting. And everyone makes a big deal of it in the moment. And then at the end of the season, no one hardly remembers it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm really bought into the Colts. We've talked about this before.
That's fair.
The thing that worries me, just from like a advantage matchup perspective, the Bengals had like 140 rushing yards against the Steelers, and so like replace like right now the best running back in the league and the best offensive line with like the worst
Brother,
offensive line.
I'm not going to be able to give you the analysis to back this pick up. Don't come at me with facts and statistics and elite
I'm
players.
getting the same feeling that I got when you picked the Browns to lose to the Dolphins. Where it's
this is nothing like that.
I get there's
that
a
was going
that
against my principles.
No, I understand that. But like, I get that there's this narrative that you're trying to push. It's just like, this does not seem like the right spot to choose your battle.
I'm also down. We forgot to mention, I'm down 16 points to you, brother. I got to make swings.
Wait, no, yeah, no, explain. We forgot to do that. For the people at home, explain the rules. How do we get points in this? What does our upset alert mean?
You get 1 point if you pick a game right. You get 0 points if you pick it wrong. You also do upset alerts, which means, and you get one of those per week. You get 3 points for picking a team to cover the spread. If you pick a team to outright win, you get 3 points plus whatever the spread was. But by picking a team to outright win, you can lose a lot of points. I'm currently losing by 16 points to Adam Wilkins.
Screw you, dude. I'm dominating you in this game.
So I am praying for a 49ers win and a Steelers win. If I get that would be enough of a swing to almost entirely close the gap. But it's a long shot.
It sure is. That's what you got to do when, you're faced against a Titan like me. Last week, how many points did we each get?
You got 6, I got 4.
Yeah,
okay, folks, for context, we both picked the
Cowboys
for an upset alert, which is stupid. Adam stole my pick, but he basically maintained his lead, and then he got a couple other swing games right. And it was a bad week on both of our parts, but it was kind of a bad week, I think, across the board for most people predicting last week's games.
Well, and that's the power of the upset alert, because I actually feel like we did a decent job predicting.
We both lost 3 points by getting that wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, we can move on to the next game.
Broncos at Texans.
So this one's, how we've been talking about how Las Vegas just seems to always believe in the Texans. They're favored by 1.5 in this game.
It's insane.
That really makes no sense to me.
If we want to get into gambling controversies that's going on in professional sports right now, figure out whatever's going on with the Texans. I have no clue. I'm not deep enough into the gambling world to know. It's insane. You can look at what their spreads have been throughout this season. I don't understand it.
Yeah, if Vegas was right about the Texans, they'd be the best team in the league. But instead, they've won 3 games. Like, they have the same record as the Bengals. Me too. If you think that Seattle's defense put CJ Stroud in, hell, let's talk about like literally right now a pass rush that is breaking records and is on pace to break the record for the most amount of sacks in a season. Yeah, give me the Broncos. Their defense is insane, and obviously the Texans have a great defense. But come on, guys.
Like,
I don't
is
know what
Vegas giving them
Vegas
like a
can.
touchdown for being at home? I mean, I know enough. But Vegas typically grants about 1.5 to 2 points to home field advantage. Basically, Vegas is saying that on a neutral field, the Broncos would be favored by 1 point. What?
That's insane.
Jaguars at Raiders.
This is tough for me. This is actually a tough game.
It's really
For me to
not. I
pick.
think the Raiders are a disaster.
Really, you're there?
I watched it with my own 2 eyes. I didn't even get much satisfaction out of it, brother. It was Raiders week, and legitimately, it's the first time in my life that I felt like an ounce of sympathy for the Raiders. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, it's not even
Yeah.
fun.
But I'm gonna pick them, I think. No, I'm not. I'm picking the Jaguars. I can't do it. I wanted to go have fun and go with my gut or whatever. Cause you do that all the time. I feel like, and it's like, ooh, I want to have fun. I have this lead, but I just can't bring myself to it. The analytical part of my brain is
No,
what are
what's
you
going to
doing?
be hilarious is when the Raiders win and you hate
I know,
yourself
and
for
it's
not doing
no.
it.
But no, I'm picking the Jaguars.
We get to continue the streak. Saints at Rams.
Give me the Rams. Dude, the
We
Saints
will
kind of play
never
a
once
sneaky
pick.
hard schedule. Because I'm realizing that I always keep thinking whoever the Saints are playing, I always immediately think, well, that team has an easy schedule. And they're always good teams. Why did this happen to them?
Yeah. Are they also just so bad?
Yeah. Well, shout out to Tyler. How do you say his name? Shuck?
Shuck.
Shuck?
You add it's not shuck as in CK, but you add a little something to the GH.
Tyler,
you put a little
Shuck.
mustard on that. Tyler Shuck.
Anyway, shout out to Tyler.
Shout out his dog. Saints fans might drag it out into the streets and rip it apart. Dude,
Whoa.
Saints fans are upset. I literally saw that tweet. A Saints fan was like, screw Tyler Shuck's dog. I'm going to kill it.
It's oh my gosh. Some of their famous, Bayou dog
yeah,
gumbo.
just that classic Bayou culture down in Louisiana.
No, dude, that's it's from Waterboy where she's cooking up whatever she can find. Has a whole ass snake on the just Tyler Shuck's dog just in the middle. Oh
That's
my
terrible.
gosh. A bunch of swamp people in the middle just eating it.
And now that we've given our official thoughts on what all people from Louisiana are like.
Oh my gosh.
Now that we've horrifically stereotyped an entire state of this union, Chiefs at Bills.
Oh, here we go. Now things start getting exciting. I don't know where to go with this one. I haven't made up my mind yet. What are your thoughts?
Adam, do you want to know why I have these glasses on?
Why? This whole time
Because
doing this for an hour and 20 minutes, you've had these glasses on to set up a bit.
The bit is, it's more so of a celebration because you know what this week is? It comes almost annually when the Chiefs play the Bills. It's win-win week. Because if the Chiefs beat the Bills, we just beat the Bills.
But
if the Chiefs lose to the Bills...
Who cares, dude?
Who cares, brother?
It doesn't matter.
You do it every year. Do it in January.
Listen, I
see you, Bills fan. I see you, Bills fan, watching this. You can't win, baby.
Listen, I'm not even a Chiefs fan, right? But I have this theory that when two good teams play each other twice within a year, they pretty much always go 1-1. And the Bills-Chiefs rivalry has been the predominant piece of evidence that I use to prove that theory true. I'm picking the Bills, dude. I really think that history is gonna, who am I to spit in the face of history? The Bills are gonna come in, they're gonna win in Orchard Park, and in the playoffs, Mr. Reed is gonna have something to say.
I'm also picking the Bills. It's a win-win, baby.
It's a win-win. Oh my gosh, screw you, Jonathan. You piss me off so much. You are
Oh, it's a good
so,
week. I
so
love this
lucky.
week so much. It is literally the most comforting week of the season when we play the Bills.
But
Seahawks
what's
at...
funny
Oh, go
is
ahead.
it's just funny how people keep like it seems like the theme of this episode is the media buying into narratives that are created every year and immediately proven wrong. Right? Like with the Steelers, with the like the Bills are probably going to win this game and people are like they're going to win the Super. They're going to the bowl. Look at this. They beat the Chiefs. Blah, 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 blah. And it's going to be like, dude,
One
like we've been
must
here before.
imagine Sisyphus happy. They're pushing that rock up the hill for eternity.
Oh my gosh. It is really funny how you consistently get philosophical when talking about Josh Allen and the Bills. You immediately
I
start
do.
quoting guys from,
Ancient
thousands of years ago.
antiquity.
Exactly. Like, I don't remember what episode it was, but there was this episode where we were talking. It was the one where we were predicting the playoffs, and we were predicting Bills Chiefs game. And I think I picked the Bills just to be fun. And you had this whole entire like monologue in like ancient, like old English.
I quoted a poem. I don't even remember what it was. I had a whole poem that I
You had, like,
recited.
actually verbatim recited a poem. Anyway, it's just funny how, what Bill's conversations does to your brain.
It makes me happy.
Oh my gosh.
Seahawks at Commanders, Sunday Night Football.
Ah man, dude, Mike McDonald, dude. He's such a dog. I think of
That
him at night.
defense is ferocious.
It is
The offense is doing everything that it has needed to up until this point.
the
Commanders fans staring down the barrel of 3-6.
I think that Seattle's defense is the best defense in terms of lack of names, I guess you could say, like lack of name
And lack of
recognition.
plus. That's what an actual,
While also
building off of our
being-
Mike Tomlin discussion, that's what a defensive coach should be able to do.
Yeah. They just play such disciplined football. They play disciplined football and they just have an attitude that when I watch them, it gets me fired up. And it's something I miss when I watch Bengals games.
Yeah.
Like Bengals defense plays scared. The Cowboys defense plays scared. The Seahawks defense plays angry. Just like when they are on, they are having fun. They're hitting hard. It reminds me, and it's funny because the other example I can bring up is the Legion of Boom, right? Where it's like, obviously they had more, well-known established players within the NFL, but like this team, this defense is just, they are a unit. Like they are playing as one. And yeah, I'm picking Seattle. Like I am bought into this defense. Because
at
the way
JSN,
that they
leading the league in receiving yards.
absolutely.
This team needs to be in more conversations, and I think after winning this game, because it's in prime time, people are about to watch it. They're going to be put into some conversations.
Well, and last week, whenever or was it last week or the week before when they played the Texans, right? Like that was the one thing I said. Like I asked the question: is Seattle real? Not necessarily like are they contenders, but like, could they make a run? Because like I think that defense provides a really solid floor. I don't know. I still have doubts.
It's
with
hard
Sam
for me
Darnold
to
related
imagine a
pressure,
world like it,
but
I almost have them basically mentally locked into the playoffs. It's really a
oh, for
question of
sure.
whether they can could they be the
Make a
5
run.
seed?
Yeah. I think the issue is that when Sam Darnold might be a ceiling limiter
Setter,
for
a
them,
ceiling
but
setter. Yeah.
that's the word.
But we both have the Seahawks in this game, and then we close it off with a game that from my preseason would have been an entertaining game, depending on my expectations. Cardinals at Cowboys.
Yeah, it's funny because this is going to be a shootout for all the wrong reasons, it feels like. Where it's like, I don't know, not all the wrong reasons, but it's like we have one that I guess that's just, now that I think about it, I guess that's just like what you come to expect with the Dallas Cowboys when you have an offense that's humming like it is, and then also a defense as bad as it is.
Yes. Although that offense did get slowed down last week. That was the worst
I
game that
mean,
Dak Prescott has played
once
this season
again,
so far.
I truly believe that the Broncos have the best defense in the league, so that's not entirely
Yeah.
shocking to me.
That's entirely fair. I went Cardinals this game. I think this is
Yeah.
where the Cowboy season takes a turn and starts to get ugly. And I think the Cardinals have pent up energy of being on the short end of the stick on so many games this season. I feel like this is one game where, by the end of the game, like in the post game, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman in the interview that they do with Scott Van Pelt afterwards, like they're going to be bringing up the narrative of like the Cardinals have lost 5 straight games by a combined 13 points. Like it's one of those games where that stat that I mentioned last week is going to pop up when you talk about them after. Like this team's actually right there. It won't actually turn into anything real, but for this one night, Arizona can sleep soundly.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. I think I am going to pick the Cardinal. Well, no, it's tough because like I just think that there's just such a big question mark related to like what are you going to get from the Cardinals offense? Do you know, is Kyler Murray
100%.
playing? Is Kyler Murray playing?
I don't know, and to be honest, that doesn't really affect my analysis of this game that much.
1 second.
Yeah.
Losing play stream, freaking ads. Gosh, 25 seasons essentially already over. There's no last 2 games. Starting quarterback is expected to return next Monday. So I'm picking the Cowboys.
Okay. All right.
After I found out that Kyler Murray is playing, I'm picking the Cowboys. Like, to be honest, I don't know if you noticed
it's not
that.
the worst analysis.
But again, I just think that his game is kind of hectic, and it's just time for him to move on.
He's a little
He
hellion.
needs, like I don't know. Well,
so
ladies,
that's
and
our
gents,
week 9 predictions. I will go ahead. We're going to break format here slightly. Don't go watch a player's highlights. Go watch the 13-second game highlights in preparation. It's Chiefs-Bills week. Go watch it. Soak it all in. You don't even dislike that game because that game led into the greatest season that your team has had in your lifetime.
Forever,
so
basically ever for me. Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that. I think that I forgot, I lost my train of thought, but before we go, after you watch the 13 seconds, which obviously proved that 13 seconds is a long time, just had to put that out there.
Massive amount.
I would like
13
to
seconds is a long time,
apologize
and
to-
5 inches is a massive
It's
size.
a massive amount. I just want to apologize to the people of Buffalo and Louisiana. And with that, see you later, folks.
Love ya.